Look at it. Nothing to see. Call it colorless. Listen to it. Nothing to hear. Call it soundless. Reach for it. Nothing to hold. Call it intangible. Triply undifferentiated. It merges into oneness. Not bright above, not dark below. Never, oh never, can it be named. It reverts, it returns to unbeing. Call it the form of the unformed, the image of no image. Call it unthinkable thought. Face it, no face. Follow it, no end. Holding fast to the old way, we can live in the present. Mindful of the ancient beginnings, we hold the thread of the Tao. Today I sit down with a real man, a martial arts nerd, coined the phrase himself, Dr. Conrad. We have a wonderful conversation just about the love of martial arts, the beauty that exists, the nerd out of it all. And it was a great conversation. Breathed a lot of life into me, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you all enjoy it as well. Look at it. Nothing to see. Call it colorless. Listen to it. Nothing to hear. Call it soundless. Reach for it. Nothing to hold. Call it intangible. It, that thing, it's why we do what we do. It's why we will never be able to give to martial arts what martial arts has given to us, but we can try. If martial art is not your art, you can change that word for poetry, for film, for music, for writing, for speaking, for just about anything. For love, we'll never be able to give to love what love has given to us, but we can try. Hope you enjoy this one. I sure did. As always, keep kicking.
Keep kicking, never quitting. Focus sharp like a blade that's hitting. From white belt dreams to the master flow, Paul Coffey's got the mic, now the stories grow. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Old school, new school, all styles blend. From the mat to the mic where the arts ascend. Philosophy deep, but the vibe stays tight. Martial minds meeting in the podcast light. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking. Keep kicking. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Paul Coffey leads and the journey begins. Technique entails discipline and fire. Each guest brings truth to inspire. Keep kicking, step into your power. Keep kicking, moment to the hour. Every strike, every fall, every rise, it's a journey through a warrior's eyes. Keep kicking.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Keep Kicking, the martial arts podcast, where I have martial conversations with my martial arts friends. And today I sit down with Conrad. Conrad, you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Hi everyone, Conrad Bui here. You can call me the nerd. I go with the handle the man, MAN, martial arts nerd. So some people have confronted me with why man, why not woman? And I was like, if you wanted woman, it's like wickedly obsessed martial arts nerd. So that'll work for me as well too. So for the ladies out there who are like, oh, well, I can't use that acronym. Use that other one.
Right. I like that. The wickedly obsessed. So tell us, Conrad, how did you get started in martial arts?
Ooh, it's a long story. This will probably take the whole podcast. It's a journey that I have found many other martial arts experiencing a very similar journey. And the way I got into martial arts was I grew up in Aurora, Colorado in the late 70s, early 80s, and we immigrated to Aurora, Colorado from Vietnam. And wow, there was maybe 5 families in the whole city of Aurora at that time who were Asian. And so I was bullied growing up, and as a kid, I didn't realize that it was racism. And it's not a bad thing. It's okay. I get it, because when kids they encounter something new, they just do what kids do, and so I have no. I have no ill feelings towards anybody. It's just that
Good.
was the culture, and I'd probably do the same thing as a kid. Hey, that kid's funny. I see. So he eats weird stuff. He looks weird. He doesn't look like this. Where's he from? That kind of stuff. And that's okay. That's okay. They just weren't used to seeing Asians, and so
Right.
I was bullied and things like that. I never felt like I belonged, and then one day I saw a Bruce Lee movie, and it changed everything. My parents, we were at a friend's house, and they put on Enter the Dragon, and I thought, wow, what is this? And it was just amazing. And here was an Asian person who was respectable, who was, a hero, basically, in my eyes.
Right.
And I thought, wow, this is cool. And so a lot of people out there I meet in the martial arts world, a lot of them, not all of them, of course, but a lot of them came through the martial arts from being bullied, or from Bruce Lee, or both. And so I was a combination of both. And so I bugged my parents to let me take martial arts. And being the cheap Asian parents that my parents were, and that's okay. It's cool. That's just, at that time we didn't have a lot of money, and so my parents said, you could take lessons from your dad. My mom said you could take lessons from your dad because he has a black belt in Aikido. And I thought, oh, that's cool, because he trained Aikido in Vietnam, and he earned his black belt before we immigrated over here. And so I thought, wow, okay, martial arts, it's great. I don't know what Aikido is, but it's martial arts. Let's do it. And of course, I'm sure many of our listeners know Aikido doesn't have a lot of punches and kicks and things like that. And so we're working on wrist locks, throws, and locks and whatever. And I thought, where's the Bruce Lee stuff? Where's the kicks? Where's the punches? Where's all the flashy watas and everything? But I was a desperate person to learn martial arts, so I kept learning from my father. Probably, so we would learn in the house. He would wake us up early, and a kid waking up early, I'm like, oh. But I wanted to learn, so I trained with my father for about 3 or 4 years, and. I still like Aikido to this day. I don't train it formally. My brother, who trained with me, still trains it formally. He trains in Denver, Colorado.
That's cool.
And, he's like a 6th or 7th dan now in Aikido as well too. He helps teach at the dojo in Colorado. And just a side note, if you're ever in Denver, you've got to check out the Aikido dojo in Denver, Nippon Con.
Okay.
It has a really big dojo, and
Mm-hmm.
also an authentic Japanese restaurant that looks like the countryside. Yeah, it's
Whoa.
so cool. It's
Okay.
like a castle. And so you go in there, the architecture is old school. It looks like you walked
Mm-hmm.
into a museum, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe 16th century, Japan. It's really amazing. And then there's even a museum in there. You won't
Whoa.
be able to see it, but there's also, I think, up to 6 uchidachi dorm rooms, so they can have live-in
That's
students.
so cool.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So if you're ever in Denver, and
Mm-hmm.
anyone listening, if you're into martial arts, you're ever in Denver, you got to stop by Nippon Con. It is like just
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And so and the food is it's often prepared by the owner, Homa Sensei, and Homa Sensei is the last live-in student of Ueshiba, the founder of Aikido. And so there's a
Very
lot of history
cool.
there, and you might even see him in the back cooking. And so
That's awesome.
sometimes, yeah, it is awesome. He even has, he's a true Renaissance man. So he teaches Aikido. He also has
Mm-hmm.
written several books. He's a chef. He's an artist as well too. You'll see his artwork on the wall. He also designed the whole place, and he built the place with his students. And
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah. So if, just a plug for that. If you're a martial
Mm-hmm.
arts junkie and you have a bucket list, put that on your bucket list, because it's definitely worth just to go out to Denver and check it out. Of course, Denver has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
other things to do there too. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're ever in Denver, or if you want something to martial arts bucket list in the United States, put that on. And so
Mm-hmm.
back to back to the what is it at this point? Back to the early '80s, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm bugging my parents to let me really learn some kicking and punching stuff like Bruce Lee did. And my mom finally consented. She said, "Okay, fine." There was a Taekwondo school close to
Mm-hmm.
our house, and they had a special going on. I don't know, 1 year membership, half off or something like that. And it was Mile High Karate, and they taught
Mm-hmm.
And And yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
first day I went in there, I fell in love with it. Finally, the kicking and the punching and the Bruce Lee stuff. And I thought, yes, yeah, I fell in love with it. I earned my black belt when I was 16. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo today. I still practice the
Mm-hmm.
forms, the yongs, the sets, the katas, and
Mm-hmm.
still practice the kicks, the punches, everything like that. I competed all over Colorado. I competed nationally as well too, and so it was a good phase of my life. I was the Colorado
Mm-hmm.
state champion. I was also a national
Very cool.
champion as well too. So as a kid, yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
love the tournament scene. I was into it up until college, the tournament scene. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to grow up. It's like it's time
Right.
to grow up, go to college, and figure something out. Because I figured early on, I'm spending all my time at the school here. Am I going to make a living being an instructor or something, or
Mm-hmm.
doing something else? And I mean, I looked around. The sad thing is, there's a lot of schools that open and a lot of schools that close. And so I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh man, and all these tournaments, you know, I read this black belt article by Jim Kelly, the roper in Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
He had the coolest lines in Enter the Dragon.
Right.
When Bolo killed all those people, and he's
Mm-hmm.
like smashing them with his bare hands, and then Han, the guy with the claw, he looks at Roper. He
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Are you shocked, Mister Williams?" And Roper says, "Only at how sloppy your man works." That dude had the coolest lines. I was like, that is
Right.
such a cool dude. Well, anyways, he had this article because he competed in the tournaments a lot, and he was bitter about competing so much. And he said, "Trophies never put gas in my car." And so
Mm.
that was the title of the article. So that really got to me, that it's hard to make money, doing tournaments. It's basically a labor
Right.
of love. And so
Mm-hmm.
I went to the University of Colorado at Denver as a biology major. And at that time, I was lucky enough to run into Sifu Jeff Jones, who was a Jeet Kune Do Kali instructor back in the
Mm-hmm.
late 80s and early 90s. And so
Mm-hmm.
at that time, Jeet Kune Do and Kali, they were all over the magazine articles and everything. And of course, Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's art, I always wanted to learn
Right.
it.
Right.
So my goodness, when I heard he was in the area, I called him up. We hooked up. Lucky for me, he didn't have any students. He didn't have any school. He just wanted a training partner so that he could keep
Mm-hmm.
his skills current. And so he taught me as fast as I could learn, so that he
Mm-hmm.
could continue learning, practicing his drills and all the Kali things, the Jeet Kune Do moves and drills and everything that requires a partner. And so
Mm-hmm.
I trained with him for a couple years, and I went as fast as he would teach me as fast as I could learn it. So when he taught me, I'd go home, learn, practice, and then we go back and we train. And wow, that's good. And we train it for a little bit. Then he'd show me something new and everything like that. So I learned a lot from him for a couple years. And
Mm-hmm.
then I graduated from the University of Colorado, and I moved to San Jose and to go to chiropractic school. And so
Mm-hmm.
uh, in chiropractic school, there was a CELOT teacher there. And oh
Okay.
man, I was like in hog heaven, because at that time, Guru Dan was getting into CELOT, Guru Dan Inosanto. And
Okay.
in the magazine articles again, there was all this writing about CELOT and the Torres brothers and CELOT Sarak, and how Guru Dan thought it
Mm-hmm.
was very advanced, and the leg sweeps were things that he's never seen before. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, wow, I'd love to learn this art one day. And sure enough, there was a CELOT instructor at the chiropractic school. And so, I, of course, I went to Dr. Andre, who was the
Mm-hmm.
instructor. He was also a clinician at the school as well, too. And so I learned both chiropractic and CELOT from him,
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, we would be in the clinic, and we'd find a room, an exam room or whatever, and we'd close it and we would train. And sometimes people would poke their heads in, and he would say, "This room's taken, go to the next room," or whatever. And we would just train CELOT in there. And it was really cool. And during that time, it was just an amazing time. I also got to hook up with one of my best friends, Guru Scott Sobel, and he also
Mm-hmm.
trained with Dr. Andre. He currently is in Maryland. He has a Aikido and a CELOT school that he
Mm-hmm.
teaches, and I continued learning CELOT with Dr. Andre, and also Aikido with Guru Scott there as well too during that time. And so when I graduate from chiropractic school in San Jose, I was going to move back to Colorado, and
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Andre said, "Wow, one of the Torres brothers lives in Colorado, and he's one of my instructors too." And so so when I moved back to after I graduated chiropractic school, I moved back to Denver, and Willem de Torres, one of the Torres brothers, lives there. And so Dr. Andre makes the introduction, and I become a student of Uncle Bill, Willem de Torres. And so Dr. Andre,
Cool.
he promoted me to a guru rank in CELOT Sarak. And oh gosh, I was so happy in that. And later on, when I became a student of Willem de Torres, he taught not only CELOT, but Kun Tao. And Kun Tao is basically Chinese Kung Fu by way of Indonesia. So
Okay.
it's really cool. It's not as beautiful as the forms. We train forms in Kun Tao. It's not as beautiful as the Chinese forms,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very, I guess, you can see how primal it is. It's not very sophisticated, but it's very primal. And so I learned Kun Tao CELOT from my teacher Willem de Torres, and there's Bagua in it, there's Tai Chi in it, there's Southern Shaolin, there's Northern Shaolin in his system as well too, and so he categorizes his systems by the region. So he'll say this is Hokkien Kun Tao, this is Shantung Kun Tao. Instead of he doesn't. He doesn't mention this is Hungar or things like that. He'll just say this is from the Shantung region, and so That's how I guess they categorized it in Indonesia. And so it's a very cool system that Uncle Bill teaches. I just had a session with him on Zoom today. He allows me to zoom in and a few other people to zoom in, and he has a session with his other students in Denver. And he's 89 right now. If you've seen some of my posts, you might have seen me move with him in the back, and he's like just jumping around and all that at 89. And that's one of the beauty of martial arts, is to age gracefully. You know. And so some people are like, what especially if any of your listeners or people who watch your podcast, if they've seen my videos, I perform sets here and there. I'll do some Wing Chun, or I'll do some Silat or Bagua Zhang and things like that. And some people say, "Oh, that's ineffective. Oh, you're just dancing." You know what? It's actually they don't know this. They don't realize this. It's actually good for fighting. It's good for fighting old age. Right?
Ooh, okay.
So that's reason enough. That's reason enough.
Absolutely.
Not everything has to be about combat. What percentage of our lives do we spend in combat versus in living?
Yeah.
Right. So if our art can help us to live properly, I think that's a more powerful art than one that helps you to have good combatives or fight properly.
Right.
So everyone has their own reason to train martial arts. I think it's important to respect everybody's reason. But so Uncle Bill, he's 89 right now, very healthy for his age. And so when I was training with Uncle Bill in the mid 90s, he also had a friend who taught Bagua Zhang. And I always wanted to learn like the traditional Bagua Zhang. And he said, if you want to learn, go ahead and learn from him. His name is Wayne Welsh, and I became a student of Sigong Wayne Welsh as well too. And Uncle Wayne taught Bagua Zhang. His system is Ying Long Xing Bagua Zhang, the shape of the image, the shape of the dragon's image. And it's a really nice Bagua Zhang system. It has roots from other families. And so, and of course the Bagua Zhang system has, its first set has 116 moves in it. And and it's just super nerdy too, because it relates to the I Ching and the Bagua, the trigrams, and some people use the trigrams to read their fortunes and things like that. And so you can also use that book as a book for philosophy, or a book for inspiration, a way of life, and things like that. But also a book to tell your future as well too. So some people use the I Ching like a tarot card type of thing to read into their future. But anyways, so the Bagua Zhang, super cool, super nerdy. I love it. It's one of my favorite arts. And then I eventually moved. Well, I set up my chiropractic offices in Denver, Colorado. I opened up 5 offices, and and I was
busy man.
Enough, yeah, and I have family and everything like that. But I was lucky enough to have some good partners, and enough for me to take a step back and move back to San Francisco. And so I don't make as much as I used to, but I have more free time. And so this was in the early 2000s. Oh no, it was in around 2000 when I moved to San Francisco. And so I moved to San Francisco in the actually early 2000s, like 2010. And so close to my house was a Muay Thai gym. And Bruce Lee always respected Muay Thai. He Jeet Kune Do people, they train Muay Thai as well too. So I always wanted to learn like just pure Muay Thai. And so I peeked my head in the gym. And coming from a traditional martial arts school, I thought, there would be these guys dragging their knuckles on the ground and grunting at you, things like that. But they turned out to be super nice guys, very respectful, very nice. And I thought, wow, this is a great gym. So I joined the gym back in 2010. and I've been there ever since. I'm a crew in Muay Thai. I last year I went back to Thailand to train with Master Toddy in Thailand and become a crew under him, and also the Thai Ministry of Education as well too. So
That's cool.
I've been teaching Muay Thai also for probably 10 years now as well too. And so yeah, love the school. And in the Muay Thai gym, there's these guys rolling on the ground, and so there was a jiu-jitsu program. And of course,
Oh.
after watching UFC in the early 90s, everyone heard of jiu-jitsu. And so I always wanted to learn jiu-jitsu. So I see them rolling on the ground, and they would say, come and join us, come and join us. And I thought, yeah, I always wanted to learn. So yeah, I joined them, and I'm currently a second-degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I dove in head first, and I competed. I've medaled in the Pan Ams. I've medaled in the U.S. Open. I've taken double gold medal at the American Cup as a brown belt. My most recent competition was a silver medal at the American Cup as a black belt as well too. And so yeah, I'm deep in the Brazilian jiu-jitsu culture lifestyle as well too. So yeah, and then in 2020, COVID hit. And so all that shut down, no more touching people, no more coming close to people. And so I thought, what can I do? And so I love katanas. I love the Japanese culture. I love samurai and samurai swords. And so I thought, I want to do something with the samurai sword. And so there's a Iaido group in Berkeley, in San Francisco, in this area. And they were offering some Zoom sessions. And so I joined on Zoom, and I just swinging with a stick and things like that until I could get my own sword and everything. And I've been doing Iaido for like 5 years now. I'm a black belt in Iaido as well too. So I always thought, I've got too many forms. I can't do more forms. But then I love the katana so much. I had to pick it up. Yeah, I counted a while back. I train over 60 something sets, from Taekwondo to Bagwazang to Kuntao to Silat to all these sets. And I want to keep up with them. I don't want to forget any of them. And so,
For sure.
but I thought, no more sets. But then, Iaido adds more sets. And just recently, I've been lucky enough to hook up with a local Hungar instructor, Sifu Las Wong. He's one of the top students of YC Wong, who's a legend in the San Francisco Chinatown area. And he asked me one day, we're hanging out, and he's a very nice man, and he asked me one day, you want to learn the iron wire set of Hungar? And I said, I've heard of that. Yes, okay, please. I thought no more forms, but I was like, I heard of the iron wire set. It's the most advanced set in Hungar, and it's also their internal development dynamic tension set. And I thought, okay, yeah. Little did I knew it's a long form, but I didn't know it would take like if you do it right, it's like 8 or 9 minutes to perform it, up to 10 to 15 minutes if you do it even slower. So yeah, it's a long set. And so, but I was like, I really want to learn it. But yeah, I just recently learned that set just a few weeks ago.
Is that 8 or 9 minutes going at full tilt?
Oh no, it's a dynamic tension form. So there's a lot of so there's slow sections to it. The cool thing, I thought the coolest thing are the noises they make. They'll have like things like ha, oh, ja, things like that. And so I think those noises are really cool. It's supposed to vibrate your different organs based on the different vibration frequencies. And so it's super nerdy.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the dynamic tension really is great for your tendons and your joints. And if you do, I believe if I perform this set, it keeps everything nice and tight as I get old as well too. So it's a really cool set.
Okay. So the next question that I usually ask is, what kept you going? But it's clear that that's just straight passion, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday my wife was saying, "You're addicted to martial arts." She said, "You're so lucky. It's such a positive thing, but it's
For
an
sure.
addiction." And I
For
said,
sure.
it is. I clearly admit it's an addiction.
Hmm.
That being said, though, and you know this too, when we train
Hmm.
martial arts, it's not we're just training the movements. It's not we're just
For
training to fight.
sure.
We're
Absolutely.
also learning history. So,
Yep.
like for example, when I'm learning Hungar, I'm trying to learn the lineages that it comes through, and the Southern Shaolin Temple that produced the
Hmm.
Hungar, and how it was part of the revolutionary as well too. The symbol here is a revolutionary symbol in Hungar, and so
Oh yeah.
you might see it in some kung fu movies where they kind of do this symbol as like a secret code to each other. Like a
Mm.
secret handshake kind of. And so there's history that we get to learn about. I try to learn
Hmm.
as much of the language as I can as well too when I learn an art, whether that's the counting or how they say elbowing or punching or those
Hmm.
simple terms. So I learn a little bit of the language as well too. I get to learn the culture. Yeah, it
Mm.
doesn't matter if it's Brazilian culture or Japanese culture or Chinese culture
Absolutely.
or Indonesian culture. Every culture is so cool, and
Hmm.
uh, how they treat each other, how the family system works,
Hmm.
uh, how you greet each other. So I gotta learn the culture, their history, there's some religion as well too. Like many
Hmm.
martial arts, it's based on. It has some roots in religion, like Shaolin, of course,
Absolutely.
or Tai Chi and Baguazhang in
Hmm.
Taoism. So you
Hmm.
learn a little bit of the religious part as well too, which I find extremely fascinating. And then also the
Hmm.
coolest thing is the food, right? So if I'm training Thai boxing, my Thai boxing instructor is like, let's go get some Thai food. It's like, yeah. Or my Hungar teacher is like, let's go get some Chinese food. Yeah, he grew up in Chinatown, so he knows all the good Chinese food there. And
Hmm.
so the food as well too. And now that I'm older, my bucket list is to train these arts in their homeland. So last year was Thailand, and
Okay.
uh, hopefully this coming year in 2026, I'll be able to train at Sheldon Temple and Wudong as well too. So bucket list, and I'm not there to to train for a month or anything. It's just a bucket list. A week at Shaolin, a week at Wudong, good enough for me.
Hmm.
Bucket list,
Hmm.
experience it at the source, and so
Hmm.
so martial arts not only does it open up all these cultural and uh, historical avenues for us to research. The other thing, and the food too. The other thing, though, for me, the number one thing, meeting cool people like you.
Oh,
You,
thank
you
you,
know,
thank you, thank you, thank you.
martial arts has the coolest people.
I
Sometimes
do
I meet
agree.
yeah, sometimes I meet people outside and I share with them, oh, I practice martial arts, that's my passion, my hobby.
Hmm.
And they look, oh gosh, this guy must be dangerous and all his friends
Right.
must be like bad people or something. No, we're a bunch of nerds, and
Right.
we're the nicest, coolest people. Some of the deadliest
Hmm.
people, you'd never realize how deadly they are. It's like a hidden
Hmm.
superpower. And so
It's it turns the volume down for
yeah,
us. It
absolutely.
makes us calm for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
So, I so I typically ask how martial arts helps with your profession, but I'm going to ask a twofold. How has martial arts helped you with your profession, but how has your profession also helped you with martial arts?
Oh yeah. It was a toss up between going into acupuncture school, medical
Mm.
school, or chiropractic school. And at that time, my whole family was going to a chiropractor. In fact, our chiropractor, he basically saved my mom's life. My mom had all these headaches. She was in a really bad car
Mm.
accident, and she developed headaches and dizziness to the point where if she stood for more than 10 minutes, the room would start spinning on her. And so we went
Ooh.
to all these specialists, and none of them could
Mm-hmm.
figure it out until she went to a chiropractor, and he told her what he thought was wrong and started helping her with the adjustments, and she got better. And I didn't believe
That's
he could, because I was thinking, this guy's just going to use his hands? What? Good luck with that, because she went to all these specialists, and none of them could help her, and they had all
mm-hmm.
these sophisticated tools and drugs and everything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't think it would work, but sure enough, it worked. And so I became a patient, and then he had a conversation with me one day. He said, "What are you studying right now?" I was in college, and I said, "Oh, I'm in the pre-med program, and I was planning to go to medical school. The route, my sister's a medical doctor. I follow her."
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Why don't you be a chiropractor?" And I thought, huh. And then he started talking about it, and it turns out he was a martial artist too, and so he did Kempo and also Silat, and
There
so
we go.
I was like, oh, no way. And so we became very close, and yeah, I went to chiropractic school because of him, and
Mm-hmm.
so part of the martial arts got me into chiropractic school, and
Mm-hmm.
the martial arts, I believe it helps with anything you do. So if you have children, you got to get your children in martial arts,
Absolutely.
because
Mm-hmm.
one, it'll keep them fit, and physically fit kids. They become physically fit adults.
Mm-hmm.
Two, being fit helps to engage your brain as well too. So whether you're doing
Mm-hmm.
kung fu or jujitsu or judo, it doesn't matter to me. I consider myself a non-denominational martial artist.
I
Do
love.
whatever's convenient and what you like.
I'm stealing
Right.
that.
So do what's convenient, do what you like, but your kid, they'll have better brain development by doing martial arts. Also, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
martial arts school, they teach respect and honor and discipline. Those kind of
Mm-hmm.
things that maybe will not be taught in school, or even sometimes not even at home. So
Mm-hmm.
go into a proper school. You'll get that discipline. You'll get that
Mm-hmm.
respect with your kid as well too. I learned in my Taekwondo school to say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
and help my parents at home. Yeah, and so if you have
Mm-hmm.
a good program, it'll bring out good kids. And so so the martial arts, not only does it help with brain development, but also for going into chiropractic school, I think it helped with my coordination. So when we start adjusting patients, I kind of already
Mm-hmm.
knew to use my hand and how my body works.
Mm-hmm.
People who didn't do martial arts or didn't work out much, they were very uncoordinated. Like
Okay.
their mind-body connection just wasn't developed like a martial artist
Right.
would be.
Absolutely.
So the martial arts also helped. Of course, um, learning martial arts, you also learn about the healing, about the chi and the breathing and
Mm-hmm.
things like that too. So having that proper mindfulness with your patients, when I have patients, being there for them, taking a few deep breaths, I think not only will it translate to just the health field, but it can translate to anything, whether you're an engineer or an accountant or whatever you decide to do. I think martial arts is a great foundation for any career. And then,
I agree.
of course, the chiropractic helped me with the martial arts too. So when I was, for
Mm-hmm.
example, when I was in anatomy class, every
Mm-hmm.
time, especially cadaver class where we're dissecting the human body and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
everything I was just looking like, oh, that's how you break the arm. Oh, that's why hitting the temple is so effective. Oh, that's how people get knocked out. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
it's, I was that's where my mind was. It wasn't so much
Right.
about learning the healing, which I was, but it was also
Right.
learning the other, what you would consider the dark
Right.
side. How to destroy the body too. So I was like,
Right.
oh. So, for example, trivial question would be. Or an answer would be, what's the most commonly broken bone in the body? It's the clavicle, and it's also
Really?
Yeah, it's also the first formed bone in the body as well too. That's why it's so brittle. It's the first formed bone in the body as well too. So the clavicle is the most common thing. So attacking the clavicle is a fine target, and I see it a lot in Kempo and other
Yep.
systems as well, attacking the clavicle. So, but anyways, yeah. So I think martial arts and healing arts and just knowledge about healing, it's two sides of the same coin. So
Sure.
if you have a coin, right, you'll have a
Mm-hmm.
head and then you'll have a tail.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have one without the other. So no matter how
Absolutely.
many times I slice this, there'll still be two sides to it. You know how
Mm-hmm.
many times we slice it, there'll always be two sides. So you can't have a coin with just one side. It's I don't know, maybe it's possible, but in thought experiments, it's almost impossible for me to try to figure out how you can have a coin with just one side. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's why some people are like, how do you reconcile martial arts and healing arts, martial arts and spiritual arts?
Mm.
To me, there's no conflict because it's part of the same thing.
Absolutely
To
not.
understand
Mm-hmm.
one, you're understanding the other.
Absolutely. Okay, so now here comes the big question. The question, this is the podcast also selfishly is a way for me to meet other martial artists and talk through things that I'm currently working through, whether it be things that I'm teaching or things that I'm working in my own practice, because I try and remain student in mind, and I'm not a master. I tell most of my students that I'm a really bad teacher. I'm just the best damn student you can have in class, like with you. So the omission is, as a martial artist, that I recognize that I'm equal parts sadistic and masochistic, and not everybody is like that. And so the question is, in your opinion, how do you teach someone that is nonviolent to be able to speak the language of violence when needed?
Non-violent. Like, how non-violent are they?
Right. I'm some people. Well, so I teach. I don't currently teach out of a school. I currently teach out of community centers
Mhm.
and rehab facilities and a couple of places where we're teaching very disenfranchised groups. And there are some people. Um, I don't like to inject a lot of myself into these interviews because it's not about me; it's about you. I come from a very uh, a, I come from abused background, and that's what brought me into martial arts. And so, like, everything that I do when I teach is extremely trauma informed and based in trauma. But I have some students who, with trauma comes they were dehumanized as they were abused, or they were dehumanized as they were hurt. And so in order to inflict pain, or in order to defend themselves, they have to dehumanize the person that's in front of them, and they just don't want to do that because they know what it's like. And so, like, they might be that nonviolent, they might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get through to the people that maybe need it the most because they're walking around as victims?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think everyone's individual, and everyone uh, might be on certain levels of what
Mm-hmm.
you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to answer that. I think uh, if they're extreme,
Mm-hmm.
first thing would be I think just to make a connection with them, and make them
Mm-hmm.
understand that you're a good person, you're a safe person, you're a loving and kind person, you're a compassionate
Mm-hmm.
person, and uh, and then you punch them in the face. I'm just
Ah!
no, 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 no. Yeah, I think it's important to meet them where they're at, and to understand what they've gone through.
Right.
and try to start where they're at and just go from
Mm-hmm.
there. And I
Mm-hmm.
think some people, I have to say, and I have to understand, as hard as it is for me to understand this, is that martial arts isn't for everyone either.
Mm.
There's some people that uh, will love martial arts like you and me, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
just some people that will just never like it. It'll be in front of them, it'll be accessible, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they might have reasons to train it as well too, and it's just not for them. And so I think it's just we've got to accept that sometimes too. But
Mm-hmm.
I think if we can just meet them where they're at, and then slowly go from there, earn
Mm-hmm.
their trust. And
And then
if
punch them in
they,
the face.
yeah, after you punch them in the face, right? No,
Right.
no, earn their trust, and then see if it's for them. But I think if we can meet them where they're at and go through that process very slowly, and they still aren't accepting of our lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
or our
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we planted the seed for them, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe in a few years they'll look back at it and go, oh, Paul did have some good points there, so maybe I'll do it now. So yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's life too. People will come
That
in and
is
out of
indeed.
our life for certain reasons that we cannot
Mm-hmm.
comprehend at this time. And
Mm-hmm.
all we can do, I believe, is be a good example for people, and that
Absolutely.
hopefully planting those seeds
Mm-hmm.
will germinate. But personally, I think martial
Mm-hmm.
arts is the best activity for everybody, bar none. There's a martial
Agreed.
art for
Agreed.
everybody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What do you think the average martial arts practitioner neglects in their own practice?
Ooh, average. That's a tough word.
That
Average.
is a tough word.
No one
I
wants
ask
to
a
think
lot of
they're average.
I ask a lot of subjective questions for
Right. Right. I think there's a lot of I guess pitfalls, maybe illusions, and things that we think are true that might not be true, and therein lies the
mm,
difficulty, is to break through those illusions, and those the mindset uh, that it's not true possibly, and it's very hard to see because we think it's true. And so that's the hardest part, is to recognize certain uh, paths
that's a
and
great
certain
answer.
mindsets that we might be trapped in,
Mm-hmm.
and that and again, hanging out with other martial artists like yourself, for example, who are open-minded,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with what I want to say more enlightened martial artists, you'll pick it up. You'll pick it up. I usually see a lot of martial artists who don't, for lack of a better word, socialize with other
Mm,
martial artists. I
mm-hmm.
see where they're stuck in their development, because I was there at one point myself.
Mm. What do you think made you get unstuck with that?
So again, uh, crowdsourcing. You know,
Okay.
talking to other martial artists. So
Mm-hmm.
like you, I'm a constant student, and again,
Mm-hmm.
people will call me master, though I have those titles.
Mm-hmm.
My teachers have ranked me as a Sigong, as
Right.
a Guru Basar, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
I have those rankings, and I could fall into those pitfalls as well too. But like you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a student, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
online people say, "Oh, Master Conrad did it." I say, "No, Master, please, nerd is nerd or brother." So you can either call me nerd or call me brother. And I believe the more people we talk to, and the more viewpoints we study, the more accurate decisions we can make about our mindset.
Mm.
So uh,
Mm.
so sometimes I have a certain mindset, and I'm talking to another instructor, and this instructor, maybe he's 20, 30 years older than me, and he's telling me something that's outside of my mindset. And sometimes I immediately want to think, I'm going to fight back, I'm going to push back, you're wrong, but then I need to think, you know maybe I'm wrong. Let's consider his
Right.
point of view, and give it some thought, give it some
Mm.
meditation. And once I meditate deeply, I can see sometimes, that what I had as what I might have considered a foundation of thinking even was completely
Mm-hmm.
wrong, and that he
Mm.
was in fact right. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times as well too, I was right and he was right as well too.
For
Two
sure.
people can be right at the same time. It's like if two people are at different angles looking at an accident, one person will say no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, this person hit that person, and the other person will say
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 that person hit this person, and because their viewpoint is it's obscured on one side, it's not obscured on the other side, and so
Mm-hmm.
both sides are right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and then sometimes both sides are wrong as well too, and that's important to consider
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely. Well, that's the old adage of two kung fu schools coming together and having a fight, and the students like stalemating each other and bowing and saying, "Same school, sorry." Like the idea is we're just stones sharpening stones. You
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, I
Okay.
really believe that we're all very similar. We have more in
Mm-hmm.
common than in difference as human beings, as martial
Mm-hmm.
artists as well
Mm-hmm.
too. And even
Mm-hmm.
especially that the funniest thing that gets me would be like two Tai Chi teachers like arguing about this move. And it's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, you guys got so much in common. Why you gotta pick this one move here, and battle it out. Try to figure out
Mm-hmm.
who's got this domination over the
Mm-hmm.
what they consider the correct move. It boggles my mind. And again, both sides could be correct. And why not?
Absolutely.
Why not learn that other person's reason for doing it and
Mm-hmm.
add it to your own
Mm-hmm.
reason? Say, okay, well,
Absolutely.
Master da 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 does it like this, and here's his reasoning. It's perfectly logical. So in that situation, do it like this if you feel like it as well too, and so you
Mm-hmm.
both grow that way,
Mm-hmm.
and you can still keep your root, your tradition, and enhance and enrich your own practice by learning from other people and how they do it as well, even
Mm-hmm.
though it completely contradicts how you think it should be done.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to someone if they're watching this podcast and they haven't done martial arts and they're thinking about it? What advice would you give to them?
Get off your ass and get to get to a school. Uh, but not so bluntly, not so bluntly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I, I gotta say, you don't know what you're missing.
Right.
It's incredibly life changing, and
Mm-hmm.
get into it. Commit for at least a year, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it won't happen in
Absolutely.
a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, but in a year you'll see the changes, and you'll meet. You'll make a whole new family. It's the
Absolutely.
people you meet are absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. What a wonderful community.
Oh yes, yes. And
Uh,
unfortunately, some trolls out there only look at the negative stuff. And there's so much positivity in the martial arts, and don't let those trolls drag you down.
I have every time somebody has brought it up, I made the joke, and I won't do it again, but I've made the joke. Oh, there's negativity on the internet. I didn't notice. Because it seems to be I don't know, you put yourself out there a lot and you
Hmm.
make a lot of content, and um I don't know if it's like this for you, but for me, I stopped making martial arts content because the negativity was too much. And so now this is the only, it's just discussions. I'm not making martial art content of technique any longer. But I'm also not interested. What you're doing is beautiful and is almost in a way curating the techniques, because you have amazing form, and I like everything about it is in place, in my opinion. And that's almost like, hey, that's a really good resource for somebody if they're kind of, they forgot the form and they want to review it, or maybe they want to learn it, so they're going to try and teach it themselves a little bit and then go to a master with it or something. And I love that. I'm far more interested in a 45-minute video where I explain all the different ways you could do a thrust punch.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
that's my stick where I'm at currently with things. Like
Yeah. Uh, it took me a while to get over the mindset of well, to get into the mindset of sharing.
yeah,
And I'm actually a very
beautiful wording.
I'm actually a very quiet person. In fact, I'm a nerd. I'm an introvert. I like
Yeah, yeah.
reading. I like just
Mm-hmm.
relaxing. I like meditating. Uh, when I talk martial arts, though, you would never sense it because I have that much passion in martial arts.
I
And all I'm doing now, my mindset is that I'm spreading the love. I'm spreading the martial arts love.
mm,
And if you want to poo-poo that, here's what I got to say to you. I love you, and I appreciate that you do martial arts. And recently I get negative comments every day. I get negative comments.
mm,
Oh, you suck, or this is useless, or this garbage. Yeah, garbage. Okay, so I
mm,
just had garbage this morning, and he just wrote, "This is garbage," and I said, I love it. Why would you say that? And then I'll put a heart at the end of that just to let him know I'm not going
mm.
to punch him in the face. And so so and he just said, "Oh, it's just dancing." And I said, "Well, when you understand martial arts deeply, dancing can become a martial arts." And
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for his response. But every response, I'll turn it into a positive. I'll turn it into a
Mm-hmm.
positive. I'll turn it into a fan because and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't, and I'll just
Right.
say, I appreciate you dropping by, things like that. So to me, I just API, not Asian Pacific American Islander, but API, assume positive intent. I
Ooh.
assume positive intent. So even if
Okay.
I and sometimes actually that has really saved me because it doesn't when I read sometimes it doesn't translate well, and so this person might have been saying something that was pretty neutral, but I took it as very negative.
Mm.
And so I think API assume positive intent. This person's just trying to contribute or something, and at the very least, it's helping with my algorithms to push my video up higher. And
True.
uh, so I always start with thanks for stopping by, and why would you
Mm-hmm.
say that, or what's the reason behind this? And sometimes it's a legit reason, and I learn from my trolls as well too. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I never considered that. That's terrific. Thank you for sharing. Uh, and back to the trolls, you are nobody unless you have a few trolls.
Okay.
So revel in your trolls.
Yeah, I will have to thank you for that, because the way that you worded it was slightly different the way that my peers have been wording it, because my peers are comfortable with me. So they'll say things like, write the damn book, just write the damn book. And in saying that, I will in some way, shape, or form go have like a visceral pushback of, maybe I should write the book. Like, maybe not. But the way that you said that, leading with compassion and love,
Yeah, spread the
that
love. It's martial
that
arts love. You
that
got to spread
that's
it. Hey, if you don't
resonates.
spread it, who's going to spread it?
That's
Right?
right. If I don't do it, nobody's going to do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
And
do.
it's spreading the martial arts love. Martial arts, again,
Mhm.
is the best activity for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee said this one time. He said, "All this I've learned through martial arts." You know, whether that was his
Mm-hmm.
philosophy, his way of living, his way of
Mm-hmm.
making money, his way of doing movies. All this I've learned through martial arts, and I found that to be true for myself as well as a lot of other people who practice martial
Mm-hmm.
arts.
No, absolutely. Conrad, I try and keep these at an hour. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you'd like to say?
No, no. One thing, enlightenment is in the training, so just keep training.
I love that. Do you want to tell the people of the internet where they can find you? Maybe pick up a couple more trolls?
Well, yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Look up Conrad Bui, last name Bui, Bui. Come by, have a discussion. You know, if you're a martial artist, I consider you part of my family, my extended family. So it's just family I haven't met yet. So come and hang out.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for being a part of this podcast, taking the time to sit down and have a conversation with me. I also will say to you, like I say to everyone else that has done this, because you have sat down and had this conversation with me, you're now a part of my martial arts journey. And I cannot thank you enough for that.
Well, thank you
I
for
want
being part of mine.
thank you. I want to thank everybody that was watching or listening to this. And everybody, please keep kicking. Conrad! I want to get him to go to Marshall Summit next year and meet him in person. That's what I want. Um, he is one of the ones that I am fortunate enough that I've talked to, and he has every right to act as though he's better than me. He has been in martial arts longer. He's studied more. He's a brilliant tactician, and he's he's a doctor. He's got a lot more um, knowledge, thought, and experience than I do. But he stays with a student mentality and a student mind, and I think because of that, he can learn more and grow more. So, I hope you enjoyed it. If you know somebody that's a martial artist and would like to be a part of this podcast, if you are a martial artist that would like to be a part of this podcast, if you hate half of what comes out of my mouth and you want to tell me how incorrect that is, let's have the Discord in long form. We don't have to record it, but we could hop on a call and have a conversation. keepkickingpod@gmail.com. Reach out. Love you. Keep kicking.